Hello everyone, today we are going to be talking about the discovery of one of the most important elements in human function, oxygen. First, let's go over what oxygen is exactly. The chemical symbol for oxygen is simply O, and it's the 8th element on the periodic table due to the fact that it has 8 protons with a molecular weight of 15.999, which is rounded to 16. You probably know that oxygen plays an important role in photosynthesis as well as cellular respiration. It is also, by mass, the third and most abundant element in the universe. Even in its most stable form, O2, oxygen is highly reactive as an oxidizing agent. In appearance, oxygen is usually a colorless gas or a pale blue liquid. Allotropes of oxygen are O2, making it a diatomic element, and ozone, O3. Before I go into the actual discovery process, let me give credit where credit is due. Basically, it's a pretty big debate in the scientific community about who to give credit to for the discovery of oxygen. The two men in question are Carl Wilhelm Scheele or Joseph Priestley. The issue surrounds the fact that Scheele discovered the element in 1771 but did not publish his findings to the public until after Priestley had, independently from Scheele, discovered and published his own findings in 1774. However, for the purpose of this video, we are going to go with Joseph Priestley because although Scheele may have discovered it years prior, Priestley had his findings documented before Scheele. Okay, so putting the drama aside, let's talk about who exactly this Joseph Priestley dude is anyways. Born to a family in Birstall, England, he was bounced around a lot between family members, living with his grandfather, then his father, and finally setting in with his wealthy Aunt Sarah. He showed early signs of intelligence, so they knew that they should send him to a ministry to get the best possible education. However, he became deathly ill, causing him not only to rethink his religious beliefs, but also left him with a stutter. This event caused him to give up on joining the ministry. Left with the very early midlife crisis, Priestley returned to his studies at Daventry Academy and did extensive research into the theory of mind, and ended up joining the ministry after all. He then went on to open schools and write books about grammar, married and had a daughter, and moved into work with electricity, publishing The History and Present State of Electricity. And this is where his fascination with chemistry began. With that background of Priestley, let's talk chemistry, starting with the fun fact that Priestley is actually the one to thank for your sparkling soda water. However, more famously, the whole oxygen discovery thing. Through various experiments, beginning with the composition of air, he was able to isolate oxygen in its gaseous state. Alright, let's get into it. The first experiment involved regular old air, which he did by heating experiments and capturing the gas produced in inverted containers. From these, he was able to deduce that air was a mixture of many different things, but he didn't know what exactly. He began to further research air and discovered that one of these gases must be essential to life by using mice, fire, and plants. He began by putting a mouse into a sealed jar and observing that after a short period of time the mouse would die. He put a flame inside of the same sealed jar and found that the flame would go out within seconds. He chalked this up to the lack of air in the jar. But which part of air? He then put another mouse in the jar, but this time with a small plant. He found that the plant produced enough of whatever gas the mouse needed for it to stay alive for much longer. The same thing was done with a flame in a plant in the sealed jar, yielding a flame that burned for much longer. From this, he concluded that the gas which plants produce, which he knew to be oxygen, was essential to life. Now to somehow isolate the gas. This experiment, called the burning lens experiment, is what he is best known for. He took a pile of mercury oxide and using a burning lens, focused sunlight onto it, causing it to produce a gas which he captured in an inverted container sealed in a pool of liquid mercury. This is what he believed to be pure oxygen. Spoiler alert, he was right. To test it, he put this gas he had captured into the sealed jar from before, and turns out the mouse lived for 4 times as long and the flame burned way more intensely. This gas, he claimed, was 6 times as good as common air, and this gas was an isolated sample of oxygen. And there you go, the discovery of oxygen by Joseph Priestley. Thank you for watching.